Hello, Odd Job Doer here today, and as you can just see, today's video is all about destruction! Urgh. But before I start just mindlessly hammering away at this nice countertop here, nice, we're going to do some measurements first. So, if you're following along to this series, this is the destruction video, and this is basically tearing down at least the countertop, and maybe this cupboard thing. We're still not too sure what we're doing with the cupboards, but we're going to do something. But for the new range to go in, it needs, well, okay, it's a 60-inch range, and in the manual it says it wants 60 and 3/16. I thought, man, that's pretty tight. So what you do, and one reason for making sure you have all your stuff handy, is you measure your range, right? And so over here we got a range, and I'm going to measure the front across here, and would you look at that, even though you can't see, it's actually 59 and 7/8 about. I'll measure back here, 59 and 7/8, and then even measure the back part across. If I can get my tape measure to behave, and that is 59 and 7/8. So, I didn't get a whole 60 inches out of this thing, which is fine. But 59 and 7/8, and if you're going to add on your 60 and 3/16, you add another eighth, 2/8. So, you're doing almost half an inch. If my lame math is almost correct. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to run the tape measurer in a few spots, from one side way over there to way over here. And I can tell right now this thing here's got to go. So off stage this goes. Now carefully, careful, and yeah, back to measuring. So, I'm going to stretch this across like so, and we'll lock it down past 60. Now then, we got one measurement going across from the opening that starts over there to where the new opening is going to be here, and we're going to mark it 60. And you know what? I'm not going to do 3/16. I'm going to do 4/16. Yeah. So 60 and 1, 2, 3, 4/16. Which, yeah, is real close to 1/4 inch. Okay, so I got that marked. See? Marked it. Right there, that gray speck, all blurry and stuff. And I'm going to take some more measurements up and down here from the gap over. So I'll do another one a little bit further back here. Make sure I don't have too much bend in my tape. 60 and 1/4. And down here up in front, I'll do it again. 60 and 1/4. Then, with a straight edge, which we have here, I will slop it up in here and see how good we did on this. Right, it looks fairly good. I got all the planets in alignment pretty much. So I'll give me a line down here. Right. And, well, basically bring it around the front here. Sloppily freehand. Hope you can see that, but yeah, so now we got a line. ever so slightly, because I use pencil as opposed to a, I don't know, Sharpie, magic marker, whatever. So, next what we'll do is, same thing in the front. So, we've got the front of the cupboard. So I'm going to rearrange this a little bit better. No, I can't. So, front of the cupboard, I'm going to measure across the gap here and do the same thing. We'll be marking, actually I'm going to measure from there to the inside of this gap of where the old plant's set up. That is 59 and 1/8 less. So 59 3/8. 59 and 3/8. And then I'll just write that down. 59 3/8. Okay. Then down here what we'll do is I will measure just from here to here the rest of it. So if we got a 60 and 1/4, and we got 3/8. 3/8 taken away 1/4 is an 8. 1/8. And 59 take away 60 is 1 inch. So 1 1/8 of an inch. I will measure across here and mark it 1 1/8 of an inch. Right in there, so. Alright, I can tell it's off, my math's probably off. I'm going to fix it and basically make this line go all the way down. And then we'll be ready to cut. Almost. But I'll finish up the layout. I measured and I marked, and I measured and I marked, you know. And like I said, measure 3 times, cut 2 times. So, I got this line here done, and what I'll be doing next is, I found some cheap tape, right? And I'm going to run this tape down the side of the line that I do not want, or I don't need, whatever. Like I'm getting rid of this part over here, so I'm going to run the tape down this side. All I gotta do is find the end of the tape, and we'll be in business here. And then, I also fitted out a circular saw here. What's this, 8 1/4, 8 1/2 inch? Yeah. It's a 7-inch blade, whatever it is, with a mason blade for block and mason and hopefully tile. And this could be a train wreck, but point is that we're going to take that blade and just see how good it cuts. This here countertop we're working on, right? And let's see what else we got to do. So, what we want to do here is control the depth on this thing. And I can go over to the edge here of the unfinished part down in there and just kind of take a gander at what we got. So we have some wood slats, looks like, you know, here, there, and then we got another flat piece of plywood, I think, hard to see, but it rests on top of these wood slats. And then we have probably an inch of maybe tile and grout. So I'm going to set the blade depth on the saw for an inch. And yeah, let me get this tape working here, and I'll be right back. And there it is. Behold, tape. So, plan is here. We had our tape down as kind of a guideline, and also to try to protect the marring of this side, which the saw is going to be like so. Let's see here. It's going to be like so, right? And so most of it is going to be on the part that we don't care about so much side. And I have this cardboard here also, just in case. Wanted to put it up there and have it kind of ride on it. But with only this much here, it's going to be fine. If I had it the other way around, where I had the bulk of this slide going on the tile, either I'll use more tape or I'd put the cardboard there. So cardboard, go away for now. Okay, so we're ready to saw, right? No. We're going to do some things here. So instead of these, right, for eye protection, I'm going to use some goggles. Try to help keep some of the dust particulates out. Also, what we got here is a respirator, right? Which should be good enough to keep out any chunks of dust that's going to be knocked up from going into my nose. And last but not least, we have over here the Super Sucker 5000 shop vacuum. And what we'll do with that is, as the saw is kind of cutting, we're going to reposition it so it's over on this side a little bit to try to help catch some of this dust coming off of this. And like I said, last but not least, because it's not really the last, we got these measly things, right? A little hearing protection, because this is going to be loud and horrendous probably. And these also help keep dust from going in my ear canal, hopefully. So, safety stuff, this here, and the vacuum. And you guys, I'm not going to film this because it's going to be loud, dirty, and dusty. So the camera's going to go away while I do the cutting. And maybe in the future, if I knew how to, edit out sound, maybe I'll do loud things then and just edit it out. But I don't know how to do that yet. So, wish me luck on this, and we'll get back to it after I cut. This is the most dangerous part probably of this whole job. Except for maybe getting fried or, gas leak. Right, so as you can see now, it's been actually probably about half an hour from when I cut this part here. And as you can see, this is the issue with a circular saw blade. You just can't get all the way, up to a 90-degree angle type of thing, right? So what we got now is a couple of friends. I picked up this right here. If you look kind of closely, it's like a reciprocating saw blade, right? But it's an abrasive blade. And so that's one friend. And the other friend, of course, is it's reciprocating saw. So, same thing. I put the blade in the saw, and I will go to town on it and pretend like the blade is in the saw right now. So the saw's coming this way. Jig, 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 jig. As I start up here a little bit, depending on the depth of the stroke of this thing, I will be pulling it back a little bit more, all the way back in here, so I can get kind of a gradual cut. Because this here wants to, go forward and back, and you end up, jabbing in here. So that'd be bad. Then, after I cut this down some, I'll flip the saw over and work it up towards the wall. Now, one thing to check on before you do this is to check underneath said countertop and make sure there's no wires running along or piping, none of that stuff. I've already checked, it seems fine. And open up some windows too to help vent this place out. Because yeah, that's a horrendous dust mess it makes. Now the dust is pretty much settled, and I have already ran the vacuum over some, but you can see here, if I can zoom in on it, that gray stuff there, yeah. It's like fine beach sand or something, or even worse than that. So you don't want to breathe that stuff in. So I'm going to don my protective equipment again, my armor per se, and put the blade in and go to town this last 4 inches of this. And then I'm going to switch blades to a finer tooth. Well, not finer than abrasive blade. That's pretty fine right here. But a medium, wood cutting part, and I will work down here, cut this way down, and hopefully cut it straight and nice. So, got those two things there, and I'll cut it all, clean it all, get the vacuum going, suck up all the dust I can find, because I know it's up in the window sills, and it did cloud out to a certain degree around places. So I'm gonna do some heavy cleaning here, and then I will be back to do something else here. Probably work on that back ledge is the next thing we'll do after I make more dust. So okay, so now that we got the cut here, all the way back to the wall and down here to the floor, it's time to take care of that grout line in the back. I still got my protection on, but I'll show you over here. What I'm going to do is maybe start at the end, and with a cold chisel or something special, like the screwdriver, and wear your face eye protection, whatever, just kind of go here and get some of this. All right? You want to try to break off the grout on this side, not this side here on the wall, right? So I want to chip away at this here, and hopefully get this done, right? And I chip across the back there, and then I kind of popped off the front. Now hold on. Let me transform into somebody who can hear again. Alright, so I kind of chipped off the back there. And then I popped off the front down there. Put my goggles back on. And so, like I said, the front just kind of pops off, has some finishing nails that held this part here into the wood. So I pulled that off a little bit, and then making sure that I already cut through the bottom of all the wood slats that went across here, I gave it a little lift. And so it started coming out, or I should say up a little bit. And so I'll try to give it a little bit more lift maybe. Let's see what happens here. There. Like that, you see. Now that this is fairly heavy. Fairly indeed. And I'll just kind of stay like this for now. Alright, so this here is not going to be needed there anymore. This here. And this one here. Okay. So what we got here now is a great big piece of heavy slab countertop. If you repurpose as a table or something else. There we go. Yeah. So that'll be taken outside eventually. And now what we have left over, hopefully just a bunch of woodworks. So we got that back shelf there. Try to see how much fine woodwork in there might need to be done. Not a whole lot. I think what it is, as you can see, there's this top board and then a bottom board. That bottom board I'll take a saw to and saw it down. And yes, despite all my best efforts, I think when I lifted up on this bigger piece here, it did mortally wound, not really, but I messed up some tile there. So yeah, that will take a little bit of tile glue probably, put it back down, and some more grout around there. Yay. Whew. Okay, so back to this. What we got down here? At the bottom here, you can see there, I got a line going from the edge. And so that line I'm going to follow on back to the wall. And really, you know, I'm going to try and make it kind of straight, but if it strays closer to this inner wood, that's fine. Just as long as it doesn't come out, so it's not going to hit the range. And then basically, besides that, I will also follow underneath the bottom of down here, up under there, is a toe plate, toe kick panel, right? Same thing, just take the saw and zip, saw it down straight. And this whole thing should be able to be lifted out of here. So let me do a little more cleanup here, and I'll get back to Alright, so we got some of the riffraff out of here, and clean it up a little bit. And so basically what we're going to concentrate on now is this right here. We took the tape off most of it. Let's see right there, we got a little bit of an issue. And yeah, it's just a little issue. So this right here we want to keep, per se. So I'll go ahead and take this off and take the tape off of it. And what we're going to do next with this is set it aside, right? And it's a pretty clean thing here. You see there's still a matting behind whatever. Now this here is important. This is the grout that is probably the hardest thing to do, which ain't going to be hard. But we need to find the same color, right? So if everybody could just remember this color for me, when we go to the hardware store, we'll look for it. But I'm taking that with me to the hardware store, and for this right here, I think some towel bond, some super glue, some kind of a tacky sticky glue will hold said tile back in place. Right, it wasn't the cutting that really did it. It was when I lifted up the slab that was here. There's some boards like this one here that were underneath it, and I think it just kind of caught a little bit and popped it up. So no biggie. Save some of that stuff. Get rid of this tape. I'll vacuum the rest of that. This here's still solid sounding. So this board here we got, which is not all the way cut through yet, I'm going to attack that with a, it doesn't have to be fine, but a little hand saw, because there's another board underneath it. So I'm going to get some of this action going. Right. There, you get the idea. I'll do it off camera. And after that is done, I'm going to more than likely, zoom out so you can see what's going on here. We're more likely take off this side board here, right? Chances are it's either stapled in from the bottom of the side, but crowbar, take care of that thing, and we'll be left with just the platform. And once again, the platform, what we'll do is get back on the reciprocating saw and follow this saw line that I started here on back. Although I could start from the back too, but very carefully, because there is a wire, another mystery wire there, that comes up from down below somewhere. So I want to make sure I don't want to nick that anywhere. And yeah, all that plus cut through the toe board. And so when we get back to this, all this should be cleaner. Well, yeah, cleaned out. And so behold, we have a spot now. Now, it's not done yet. I mean, the cutout is. Sure, I gotta repair that tile over there, you can see. And down at the bottom here, I noticed that it needs to use a little bit of shims to help keep that up now. Because the other end was shimmed, we took out. And so I got some shims down there for now. And this wire here is a little disturbing. Not the one that's coming out from the wall box per se, but this other one comes down and it goes down, down, bends fine like that, and goes into the tile slash into the concrete, whatever. What that does, it feeds a kitchen island that's in this kitchen, I believe. It's going pretty much directly right to it. And the good thing I didn't cut it, because that's where I had my saw plugged into. But I was careful removing that stuff like it should be. And we'll probably have to address that a little bit, that wire there. That's not, I'm sure not quite the code. But we'll see what we can do with it. Meanwhile, the big wire here, we're going to end up taking this apart. This little black tape down here. Seeing what it is, I can't really see any markings from here on it, but I can check to see what gauge of wire it is. And we're going to get a plug, an outlet, to go in that box, right? So this range takes 240 power. Yeah, so 240 outlet. This little plug over here won't be needed anymore. And I don't think it is. The gas line is going to be needed, but for as big as this thing is, it says it only needs a 1/2 inch gas line, so that's pretty good. I'll buy a new gas line for that. And yeah, this part here is done for the destruction of the video of getting this thing in. And what I'll probably do, you can see this concrete floor there, is I believe there's a pile of some tiles like this somewhere around this place. and I might be using that, or I might use a brick. You can see the brick here. I still got these hanging around. I could probably find more of that brick too. It's probably about a 2-inch lift, maybe 1 3/4. And so we'll see, because the legs on this thing does have some adjustability to it, but that's going to be more for the install of the video of the range. I haven't gotten this to the cupboards yet, but I do know that what we have is 2 range hoods. Instead of going with a big expensive 60-inch range hood, which might look fancy and nice and be great, there are 2 30-inch range hoods. They're going to take up this space here, and newsflash, already measured. They're not quite 30 inches, they're like 29 3/4. So that's 30 to some people, but the last hood fit in this spot here was 30. That spot's 30, but I'm not sure what we're going to do with that spot. All I know is I think there is a minimum between the top of your cooktop and like the bottom of cupboards and stuff. So I know, like this cupboard here, too low now. So we're still debating on what to do with that. But that will be probably the next video on the destruction of the cupboards or whatever we're going to do with that. So, odd job viewer, thanks for watching this video. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And we'll get back to this project in a little bit.